leaves, the second she leaves, your audio is gone. I did nothing.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen,
Hmm.
here
Yeah,
we go.
I did
We
nothing. It's when she leaves.
Interesting.
Leave and come back.
We're gonna have to have Paulina on. That's the
Give
only
me a
way we can
thumbs
do it.
up for a leave and come back.
Let's try. Yeah, leave and come back. Leave and
Okay.
come
All
back.
right. Cool. Let's try it one more
Ladies
time.
and gentlemen, welcome to the Daily Fix. We
Mhm.
have the two most technically inept people on the show today, myself and a legend in the CrossFit space. I refer to him as the Eminem of CrossFit, Detroit's own Josh Hunnicutt. He's trying to figure out if he can get his stuff together and work.
All right. We're gonna try
Uh-oh.
it again. All right. Do you have? I can hear you now.
Oh, look at us.
Rock and roll. We're like two
We in,
professionals.
we're
It's
in
like
there like swimwear.
almost like adults.
Yeah, dog, son. We can do anything in this world.
But we can make it happen, Dale.
What do you sip? You got some AG1 greens going on? What is
I don't
that?
know. I like a fancy glass. It's just water. It
I love it.
makes me feel alive inside. It's
I
little
love it.
things.
Well, look, dude, the story of our life. We're adapting and we're overcoming.
Hmm.
So look, man. Well, let me just kind of give a background of just life in general. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So we just got back from a seminar down in Jacksonville. So we had our first ever Go Ruck and Learn. So it was
Hmm.
awesome. So we got invited everybody out to Go Ruck HQ down in Jacksonville. My buddy Jason McCarthy runs an awesome place
Yep.
there.
Yep.
So he opened up his doors, and they're right on the beach. So we did like a little 5K ruck on the beach.
That's
Came,
fantastic.
came in, and Emily kind of gave a little talk, and then turned it over to Chris Russell, who's a affiliate owner and also on Academy staff, and he gave a kind of like a what is MetFix chat, and then they got a really cool guy on staff at GoRuck. His name's Richard Rice,
Hmm.
and 30-year Army veteran, 25 of
Damn,
which, 25 of which was in special operations.
bro,
And
nobody's in that long.
dude, so
That's insane.
his career started in Vietnam.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Yeah.
I got a fun Vietnam segue. All right,
So
my grandfather was Jim Slaughter, actual name. He was a sergeant in the army, and he fought in the Vietnam War. He had bullet holes in his rib cage and everything. So literally, my grandfather was Sergeant Slaughter.
dude,
All right, just there
the
you go.
the bloodline.
We can go all day, Dale. That's a
Um,
long career, bro.
dude, so he started in Vietnam, and that wasn't even the cool part. So he's basically like he was one of the founding members of Delta Force.
Wow, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's
he has
incredible.
he has crazy stories about like being a founding member on that unit, and like this was before there was like selection. So
Yeah.
he's got this cool story about there's like a infamous book by Colonel Beckworth, who's kind of like was the father of Delta Force.
Hmm.
But he had Richard. He's like, there's two schools you're going to go to. One is the Army Finance School, and then the other is like SAS selection over in UK. And
Okay.
he was like, why on earth would I ever go to a finance school, and why would you send anyone to a finance school?
Yeah.
And basically he was like, no one's giving us money for this unit, so we're going to teach you how to
Wow,
how to go find pockets of money across the military to fund this unit.
bro, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
And
really
then
cool, dude.
so then he went through SAS selection, and so passed SAS selection, and actually went on a couple operations with those guys, and then
Wow.
stole all their selection criteria, brought it back to the US, and then stood up what would become Delta Force selection. But then they're like, well, hey, it's one thing to stand it up. You're gonna have to go through it again to ensure, like, hey, here's the standard, here's the timeline, here's what you got to do. So we can't just have people go do it without having our own people have gone through it before. And then, he was a part of Operation Eagle Claw, like the failed rescue attempt in Iran. And then he ended his career in Mogadishu, of like what everyone knows as Black Hawk Down.
Dude.
Yeah. It was cool. It was like,
bro, come on, dude. Like that, they make movies about gentlemen such as this. That's actually they Black Hawk Down. Like, I mean, dude, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah. So he was awesome, and then like it was just a cool because we all, you can bring in any subject matter expert on diet and exercise, right? And it's good, but like somebody to have like an outside perspective of that.
Yeah, man.
And to be able to talk to the affiliates was a really cool thing. So
that's incredible, bro.
We kind of crashed. So every Friday evening at Go Ruck, they have bourbon and cigars. So they opened that up to their employees, so they were able to let us kind of hang out for that. And so we did Friday with that, and then Saturday and Sunday was a seminar, and Greg was down there, so he was able to like give his broken science talk in the beginning.
That's awesome, dude.
And dude, he ripped.
I'm watching. I see y'all, bro. I'm liking it. I'm loving it. I'm resharing it, doing my whatever little duty I can. That's amazing, bro. Yeah, I saw Greg down there. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, so I think they like I don't know how much time they allotted for him, but he ended up ripping for like 2 hours.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
It was great, man. It's good to see. Just awesome to see Greg in his element. And
dude, that's one of the things that like some of the internet buzz like always bothered me about like some of the MetFix critiques or whatever is like doubting Greg's involvement.
Right.
And like he's not, dude. When was the last time he did a seminar, like a legit seminar piece with CrossFit? You know what I'm saying? Because everything was behind the scenes. Everything was like fighting cola and all this, and like the stuff that we actually really needed done, but we didn't know. Or some of us didn't know. A lot of us didn't know, but now he's literally like boots on the ground with this shit. And then you have people still trying to doubt that. And if anybody's listening to anything, I'll probably try to say that 2 or 3 more fucking times just so it's very clear.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like the third one he's been at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
And it's like, you very rarely get to hear him in his environment, especially, like you said, you get to hear him in front of the whiteboard.
Right.
And, he has a great, like he's such a master educator, right?
Dude, he's a master linguist, bro. He's got his tones and in his inflections and listening to him is like being hypnotized. And I've felt that way since day one. Y'all, everybody that's knows me at all knows I'm the biggest Glassman groupie fan ever. Can't even get my shit together when I try to talk to him. And but dude, he's got that, man. But he uses it for the power of good, and that's what's awesome.
Yeah, man. So it was good. It was good. And then, like you said, and that's the cool part. Is like you never know. I mean, he's trying to make every seminar that he can, but it's definitely.
Bro, how many children does he have now?
I think what he joked to me. He was trying to get Maggie to call the latest child X because I think that's 10.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah,
I thought so. I mean, listen. So my man, I have a 4-year-old and a 14-year-old. My 14-year-old is on autopilot at this point. I just got to make sure it stays on the road. And my 4-year-old is all hands on deck. He is one of the most demanding humans I've ever met in my life, and it's so fun, and I love him so much. I don't know how Greg does it, dog. Like, I know, I mean, there's help. I'm sure there has to be with 10 kids, but still, dude, because I know how much he puts into him, and he puts a lot into him. He's a very hands-on parent.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool to see him at this point of his life. And, that's, I think, of all the hats he wears and has done, like, I think he's obviously like most proud of being a dad and being the headmaster at the
dude. That's fair.
Dude,
one of the early Broken Science Zooms or whatever, he was going to be on, but he had to one of his kids had to help him with their bike. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that my man has his priorities exactly in the right order.
Yeah, for sure. Well, look, man, tell us. Dude, I consider you one of my best friends. I consider you one of the most guys I respect the most in the gym owning game. But you're kind of like a hidden gem. You
Yeah,
know what
bro.
I'm
We
saying? Like,
just we just kind of stay in here. It's almost like up here in Detroit, like we're in a back alley. And what's funny about saying we're in Detroit, I mean, and we even put Detroit on our shirts and everything because everybody loves it. But dude, we're actually in like the most suburban area ever. Oakland County is like so clean cut and it is like it is so nice. And there's this one, I mean, the whole county, like the whole county is actually really, really nice. But we've always been very Teddy Roosevelt in how we handle everything, man. Everything, we just keep it internal. You know what I'm saying? We don't even host competitions unless we're the ones hosting them. And we've been fortunate enough to have a big enough population that we can host like a legit full in-house comp and that be enough and fine. You know,
mhm.
like because we talked about the porta potties, Dale. We talked about the porta potties, man. It's hard enough to keep a leash on my active members.
Dude,
All right. I told you I've got Ryan Gosling signs in the bathroom saying, "Hey girl, you're a lot stronger than these pipes. You know, make sure you put that thing in the right place." And I will say this, listen, that is, if I were consulting, I would encourage every business, every gym owner to do something of that nature. What's dude? Maybe they could use Pedro Pascal, or maybe they could use Dale King or whomever, just to encourage. Because I'm telling you, our plumbing issues got cut in half, if not more, after that.
dude, I have said this for 15 years. Every plumbing issue I've ever had comes from the women's restroom.
Yeah, well, it's those mice,
Um,
as they
um,
call them in the plumbing game.
like, and first of all, like, I don't care who you are, where you've been, the women's restroom will be significantly nicer than the men's.
Every single time.
They're getting cleans the same. They're getting like,
Yep,
but
yep.
no matter what, but what happens inside the women's restroom is
It's a mystery I don't want to unlock.
savagery on a level that's unparalleled and never before. Like, I don't know what, like, it's just they turn, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. Once that door is shut,
Bro, when they close that, when they lock that latch, it's like, dude, I have encouraged my son to go into the trades, specifically plumbing, because these dudes coming in here and making $400 to $800 in 30 minutes because they had to pull the toilet to get to snake my drain. Next time I'm buying a snake. I'm doing it myself. I can pull a toilet. That's a hat I'm about to just have to put on. I can't do
so
it, bro.
like we bought our building, which thank you for coming down. You've seen it.
Oh, it's beautiful, man. I love it.
That it's a 1930s building.
Yeah.
So you go to buy this building, and first of all, we get into the whole thing of like renting versus owning and how there's pros and cons of that.
Yep.
And going time to do the inspection. Luckily being in Portsmouth, you're one cousin away from being somebody's homie somewhere.
Absolutely. As somebody's got a snake.
And so the plumber inspector comes in. He's like, I'll be honest with you, man. Like, if this was my building, I'd kind of renegotiate the offer because these pipes, these pipes ain't gonna last, bro. Like, these are 1930 corroded cast iron pipes you got in here. But I'm gonna go ahead and pass you because I love you. But I'm just saying, like, you got 6 months or 6 years. I don't know when it's going to happen, but
it's going to.
You know what I mean? And I'm scraping together nickels just to
buy
this money to begin with. And we had a hell of a run on it, man. We had a hell of a run on these pipes. And I had the Roto-Rooters name on speed dial. So about every 6 months, come in and blast these pipes out until finally they couldn't.
There's no blasting to blast.
They tapped out. So
what's crazy is mine are good. They looked at them last time, bro. They scoped them. They're like, man, maybe you could sand them out a little bit. you know, but like they're honestly really great. We don't
Yeah.
understand.
It's just what's happening, just what's going
So
down
did you have
here.
to dig up the whole floor and everything?
Man, I like literally if you could see like my total expression change, like I am going through PTSD in real time right
Mm.
now. So yeah, so like imagine just anybody's gym. They're basically a box, obviously. Ours is more of a rectangle, and where it runs the sewer line. By the way, I don't think anybody gives a shit about this. This is just solely for my benefit to get this on my
This listen, we don't get that. We don't get that water cooler shit where we
right.
can just sit with a straight pier and be like, man, can you believe this motherfucking copy machine?
This
I'm
is
taking it outside.
this is owner to owner locker room talk. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely.
So that the sewer line hits a hard 90 degrees and it
Mm.
cuts right through the middle of my
Oh,
gym where it goes out
dude.
to the main road.
See, my kicked
And
through the lobby. I was okay.
and so I was like, all right, let's do this.
Ah,
I had to pull about 5 or 6 4
oh,
by
those
6 small
mats.
mats out,
Those are the
and then
worst anyway.
homeboy brings in the little excavator and starts jackhammering the concrete,
Yeah,
digging the
dude.
shit out, and I'm like, I can't, like my gym, like what is happening to my gym right now?
Damn, bro. That's
And
painful.
man, and of course, we ain't closing.
No. Nobody got time for that. We're not canceling a class.
We have a freaking excavator, and I'm like, no, we're good.
No, we're gonna figure that out. Dude, I would love a series on the heroic owner stories of not closing when by all common sense we should have.
Oh, and oh, by the way, so I'm like, my mind, we're not closing, we're not canceling. Meanwhile, they hit that sewer pipe, and it just is like a stink bomb going off.
Oh, it has to be, bro.
But
Oh,
so, long story short, we never closed. They busted their ass. They hit that pipe, replaced the section, concrete back down. Next day, we put the mats back
I
on.
know.
So it was like 24-hour evolution, and we were good to go. So
That's quick, bro. That's impressive. And there aren't many business entities left that do that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like most people at this point, just like it's like they look for a reason to close. Like in dude, Michigan, and some box owners do it. I've seen box owners do it. Most of those box owners aren't around anymore, and the rest of us are like fighting through snow, bro. I had a '08 Hummer with big ass tires on it, and I'm like, we getting there, like whatever. I need some kind of tank. We're gonna get there. And I've literally lent out keys and forgot, and then had to punch through a side storage wall to unlock the garage door so I could go in that way. I wrecked that Hummer before I put the big tires on it. I was trying to slow down at the stop sign right in front of my gym. All right. And then I hit ice and accelerated. By some grace of God, I was able to jump the curb, hit a telephone pole with my frame horn of the Hummer. The Hummer was fine. I just had to replace a fog light. They had to replace the telephone pole. It was the most perfect parallel park job I've ever done in my life, like something out of a fucking action movie. And I popped out and I taught class.
that is so, yeah, man. Like
Because that's what you do.
it could be a state emergency,
Oh,
and
yeah.
where it's
Bro.
literally illegal to be on the roads. It's like 5:30 a.m. class. We're doing it.
Well, dude, how many of us opened early on the COVID shit, or didn't close at
Oh,
all? That killed me because I had a very split population on the view. Like, speaking of Oakland County, it's a very like, half red, half blue. And so I knew that if I didn't close, it was going to make a lot of people mad. But if I did close, everyone had to understand, you
yeah.
know? And we ran it until the suicide rates started beating the COVID numbers on the hospital floors. And then we opened back up.
Yep. Yep.
you
Yeah.
know, because like, dude, it was crazy, bro. But like, and
That's
that's
just a
and that
wild
that
day.
was that was I had PTSD on that, bro. Like, because I we don't that's our whole shtick. New species don't close. Like we make jokes about it. Our people have made memes about it. No Josh gonna be there. Like, like, dude, you have like a couple homies, good or bad terms, open another gym down the street. They're not there to teach your classes anymore. Now you're teaching 7 days a week, just like the early days. And it just is what it is, man.
Yeah, I'll never forget when we decided to open up. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be at every class this first day, and I'm going to give this whole speech about risk and blah 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 blah, how we think it's the right thing to do. So I'm launching into my, hey, like, we're open, love to have you guys there. We don't think this thing is like the most deadly thing you can do is stay at home and get fat and not move, right? So I'm going down this whole thing. I'll never forget, a member just stops me like mid monologue, and she goes, "Hey, we took a risk getting in the car. We're good." And I was like,
amazing, dude.
Roger that. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's get after it. But
bro, the first time I had 8 athletes in a class, I had me and 2 or 3 other coaches that happened to be there. And bro, we were all running around like freaking out, like, oh, dude. Oh. And then we got through it. We taught that class. And then I got in the car and I was sitting in front of the gym, could still see in the glass, hadn't that pulled off. I called my boy that was teaching the class with me. I'm like, bro, how the fuck did we do? Did we do okay? Like, because that was like, we had like 8 to 12 people or some shit. We were just like, oh my god, bro. That's like our small numbers now.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro? We have like we have dude and go ruck, bro. So we have been tied in with go ruck since day one. Like my boy James Vreeland took the very first selection event they put on and passed it. Or one of the very first few. Like James Vreeland is like the Rich Froning of the go ruck community. Like he was for a long time. I'm not sure what our numbers are now as far as compared nationwide, because I feel like Go Ruck's definitely grown in popularity.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, bro, we had the largest Go Ruck faction in the country.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a really large group, and we still have a really solid group, man. We run 2 or 3 every now and then when they train for a lot of ultras and stuff too, TPK and all these like crazy endurance events where they're like doing fucking Rubik's cubes blindfolded while they're unlocking a door with a key in their ass cheeks. Like they do all this like crazy shit, dude, and they do it and they win. Like our people crush it, bro. They're amazing. Like they're total studs. And but yeah, bro, we've had like a big Go Ruck group for a long time, and it's really cool to see them tied in.
We got a question here from the audience, if you will. Is that James Vreeland, the firefighter?
No, he works in like marketing for GM. All right, he's just a beast. He's good. He's real close with a lot of the cadres, and he's done a few selection events. And he's just he was one of my gym members. He was a CrossFitter, and then like got really tied into Go Ruck. He was a mountain biker, just one of these endurance-y guys, and he just crushed it in Go Ruck for a long time.
Like I can sit here and talk about Go Ruck all day, which we're going to get into. But so, is that a class or program you offer?
We have 3 classes, 2 to 3 classes. Okay. They'll throw another one on the schedule every now and then when they're training on those major events like TPK or whatever, or a heavy or a selection event. But we typically have them Tuesday evenings, and then they get in there 7 a.m. on Saturdays, and they run a 2-hour class 7 to 9.
Yeah. And Dusty, like what you can do is if you want, and I don't know if you already are or not, but you can easily become a Go Ruck club inside of your affiliate. If you want.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and there's great benefits to being a part of the Go Ruck club. So, Go Ruck kind of has their own little, very unique community. So it gets you put on their board, and you from a business standpoint, you get a hefty discount on all their sandbags and rucks and everything. And speaking of which, like tomorrow we're doing basically like a Go Ruck takeover day at my gym, PSKC. So there's a cool little Raven Rock trail. So it's like 1.5 miles pretty much straight up, and then you end at a little overlook on the Ohio River, and it's 1.5 miles down. So all of our classes will be on that trail. And We got a bunch of sandbags and rucks that we give everybody out. So it's like a cool little thing that it's a low lift. Like being a Go Ruck Club is free. Just sign an agreement.
Yeah.
And your members dig it. And like what we were talking about at the Ruck and Learn, which Dusty was at, is a big part of owning a gym now is like, okay, how do we reach a bigger audience? How do we reach a wider community that it could be kind of intimidated to join a normal gym? And it's just like, hey, meet us Saturday at 8 a.m. We're gonna go on a walk. And then you can learn a lot, you can teach a lot during that walk. And so there's all kinds of benefits to being able to do that. So but yeah, man, we've had some stories, brother. You and I
Yes, sir.
back in the day. So yeah, dude, just who the hell are you?
So, bro, I've been in fitness.
Now that we're 25 minutes in, like,
I've been in fitness for 25 years. It's all I've done as an adult. I got my first ACE personal training cert when I was 18. And I have a degree in fitness wellness from a small Baptist college in Louisiana called Louisiana College. They gave me the most.
Were you guys handling snakes at?
Oh, well, you have to in Louisiana. Bro, I had this moment up here the other day. I was like cleaning out beside the house, like by the generator and shit. And I was just walking through all this like clover type ground covering and not even thinking about it. Bro, back home, Louisiana, you can't do that shit, bro. You can't walk anywhere without checking, man. You got to have a stick. Everything. We're like little Australia. Everything down there will try to kill you, bro. Like the snakes are all venomous. All right. The wasps go for your eyes. Like red wasps, like specifically try to attack your fucking face. All right. Like the thorns are 4 or 5 inches long in the woods. Like it's crazy. It's wild down there, bro. And you know how they populated Louisiana?
Was it the same thing as Australia, like convicts? It's like,
yeah, prostitutes and convicts. And when the French still owned it, they were like, listen, our prisons are overcrowded. We got too many hookers on the street. And some genius, he's like, I got an idea. All right, we're going to offer these criminals freedom if they'll marry a hooker and move to Louisiana. I hope hooker isn't is that offending anyone? Do I need to say prostitute?
I think you're okay.
But that explains my entire upbringing, lineage, all my family history, bro. I felt so validated when I learned that little fact. I think it was like 1736 or 26. Man, I just like, okay, it all makes sense now. It just took a few generations.
Yeah. You don't need 23 in me. You know what I mean? You know your whole genealogy.
It's right there. Easy.
So
I've been in fitness for 25 years since I was 18. I very quickly kind of focused on the functional aspects of fitness, like power systems used to preach functionality, but they were standing on a Bosu ball and swinging a rope around their head. I'm like, bro, nobody's lassoing a bull in a hurricane on a waterbed. Relax. All right. It didn't fit for me, and dude, I had back in the day, dude, that one of my very first clients' name was Virginia. She was in her 50s and she was a beast, bro. We would run down to the Red River, run stadiums. I'd have her, they didn't have slam balls that I could find at the time. So we were picking up rocks and slamming them down, and just doing like that real early shit. And, fast forward, I was teaching personal training certs for an organization called AFA, the American Fitness and Aerobic Association. And at the time, bro, they had one of the most complete programs that I've ever seen because they had a functional part of it where you actually had to teach a movement. So we would, the problem was then it was like very subjective. It's like some of us were a little bit easier, bro. I hated failing people. I tried to pass folks. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, are you sure that the lunge you're doing is a bench press? Are you positive about this? Okay. So they had that. So it was a really cool portion. There was a practical portion of the exam. Yeah. They called it the practical, so taught with them forever. That's how I ended up in Detroit. I got a job offer up here. When the very first time I taught in Detroit, as I was driving in, it was like past all this industrial shit and there's a giant tire. And I'm like, man, if there is any fucking place I am not going to live in this country, let me tell you where the fuck it is. And it's Detroit. Okay. Damn. All right. And the place was like the hotel I stayed in was called the Rainbow Motel. Because if I got a cheaper motel, I could keep the difference. That's the way the pay worked out, right? So at the time, bro, I was hustling. It was early in the game. Nobody had a lot of money. I was keeping every dime I could, especially after I moved up here. But the Rainbow Motel had 24/7 porn on the TV. Bro, I was like, okay, that's an interesting flex.
Was
So
that like advertised on the marquee, or did
no,
you
nothing,
stumble
none
upon
of this, bro. I was like, and I like to watch cartoons. I still watch cartoons as a grown ass man. I love anime, all this shit. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm getting ready, getting my shit together to go teach the next morning. And I'm like, all right, it's 7:30 a.m. There's not a chance in hell it is still going to be a 24/7 stream. My man, 7:30 a.m. still rocking. I was like, you know what? We're just gonna go have some coffee and we're gonna have a little. We might sleep in the car tonight. I don't know. So I ended up, but then the second time I taught in the Detroit area, I taught in Rochester Hills, bro. You drive over, and it was in the winter. You drive over this hill, like from being from Louisiana. There's Christmas trees growing out on the side of the road. All right. In downtown Rochester, they light up the facing of every building, like with more Christmas lights than you've ever seen. I think you can see the shit from the moon. All right. And I'm just like driving into this magic. And I'm like, and then one of the guys in my workshop, I got a job offer from him because he got the free cert or whatever. And he was like, man, we got a list of clients ready to go. And I'm like, fuck yes, let's get up here and make this bread, son. He had a list of first workouts ready to go that they had to give to their new members. He didn't have shit. Bro, I worked for Bally's for a year or two. I never hit budget one time. Not not one time. The one month it looked like I was gonna hit budget, the person came back and got a refund. I had one chick pay in full cash. All right. I was like, yeah, finally got it. And then I couldn't get her to come back in. And then finally she calls and left me a voicemail that she fell in love with me, so she couldn't train with me anymore.
So wait a minute. So you're out here teaching for AFA, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And then who made the connection to Bally's in Detroit?
So one of the Mark Freeman, he was actually Marine Force Recon. All right. My boy trained with Dennis James, who was a huge bodybuilder at the time in Thailand. All right. I'm telling you, dude, my guy was as wide at the shoulders as he was tall. All right. And he really liked me. And he was like, he really thought I had a lot of talent. He loved how intelligent I was. And he just knew that would sell. And he was so wrong. But the same fitness director ended up over at the YMCA. And when we got over to the Y is when I really hit my stride in the industry.
Okay.
So that's when the movie The 300 came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck this bodybuilding wannabe shit. This is what girls want anyway. I'm trying to look like these dudes,
Yep.
And they were tied in with Jim Jones. But from what I understand, there was some crossover early on with Greg and Jim Jones, the Jim Jones guys or whatever. And so then started training like that, and then found the CrossFit Q&A library, the exercise and demo library. And then it was like I kind of reached into a portal, like when Neo touches the mirror, and then it just took you in, and it's been all CrossFit since, man.
Yeah, for anybody listening, if you're bored and looking for your next workout, Google 300 workout. And so I think that was the intro point when that movie kind of came out in the whatever it was 06, 07 time frame. The 300 workout was kind of like this big deal. And it was like whatever it was, basically all the reps equaled up to 300 reps is what it was.
It was, I think, 6 different movements at 50 reps each, or 10 movements at 30 reps each, or something. Yeah,
it was kind of like, and it was a CrossFit workout. But dude, you remember the floor wipers in 300?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm like, that's the one move that everybody subbed out.
So for those of you who don't know, like, so basically you do a floor press. So you lock out 135.
Yeah.
Then with your legs extended, you touch the plates on each side. So it becomes like this whole, abdominal core thing.
It's incredibly challenging.
But yeah, so highly encourage everyone to go pull that
Yeah,
off.
the 300 workout's great, dude. And it's funny because like the first time we did it or whatever, it was like, oh my gosh, da, 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 whatever. And then you get like any depth into the CrossFit and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're right.
Other than the floor wipers, we can make this harder.
Yeah. I'm going to bring back the floor wipers.
They're brutal, man.
So, all right. So so this is like early.
So it's like 2008, 2009, and then I went over to the Y, bro. The CrossFit, and this is where my loyalty to Greg really began. When CrossFit gave me a platform that I believed in more than what I had to offer at the time, when whatever, growing up, insecurity issues, whatever. And it gave me something that I believed in so hard it was easy to sell because I wasn't trying to sell it. I saw how effective it was and I saw how it worked and I wanted to give that gift. The same reason I got into fitness, bro. I don't have an athletic background at all. I started working out when I was 17 years old on my back porch because the first time I tried to work out with anybody, a 45-pound bar crashed to my chest. All right. And it was one of those, it was like that lift where, only the dominant arm is moving and everything else is just shaking, like your first muscle up, fast forward to, 20 years later. And that's where so I went to my back porch with a Muscle Fitness magazine. That's where my fitness journey began. And what made me want to get into personal training, into the fitness field was I saw how people just reacted to me differently, and how people and how much it started changing my life. And I wanted to give that gift to others. I wanted other people to be able to experience that too, and then in CrossFit, skipping back to the, timeline, CrossFit gave me the confidence and the platform with Glassman's methodology that I could push, and it was so different, bro. We were doing it. The first year that we were sneaking in CrossFit on people at the Birmingham YMCA, we did 185% of budget.
Oh, no shit. Yeah.
Dude, we blew the budget out of the water. One of my boys, Joel, he's still CrossFitting. He actually has a club foot. He does a lot of the wheel wad stuff. And he actually has been to the games a couple times, and I remember that cat learning to do double unders. I have never seen a human being on this planet work harder for a skill than that motherfucker did double unders. And we had to watch so much of it, and damn it, it was painful. But man, that motherfucker got him now, bro. He's so gangster. He is the most determined, strong-willed son of a bitch I've ever met in my life. Joel fucking Stevens. He's down in Florida now. But yeah, so it gave me that confidence to sell, dude. He went from being at most 2K a month trainer to like a 10 or 12K a month trainer.
Damn.
Yeah. And dude, I did a trick with him because my man, he's always been so passionate about it, but he would get a little bit into his own, like, oh, my hips are tight, this and that with his clients. I put a rubber band on his wrist that just said, shh. And I said, every time you speak about yourself to your clients, you snap this rubber band.
Yeah.
My man went from 2 to 12K, bro. He crushed it, and it's because that's people that so I tell one of my big shticks is we're not really selling fitness. Fitness is just the packaging.
Mm-hmm.
What we're selling is connection or love or whatever you want to call it, and that's the magic that so many of these other lines of fitness, these other fitness entities miss. The magic in CrossFit, I feel I can narrow it down to really two things that separate us from the others. And of course, community is the easy one. Like none of a yoga studio, if they had a flow of the day, or even if it was a movement of the day to practice or something like that people could comment on, then they start creating community at their yoga studio. Little things like that make a huge difference. And the other one, and this is what I see a lot of even affiliate owners bail on the high skill shit. And then that puts a divot in the constantly varied aspect. And so you don't have as long of a honeymoon phase with your athletes. People get excited about new skills, bro. And like you see, I've seen so many people shy away from them, maybe because maybe an insecurity thing, maybe they're afraid of it, whatever, but one of the first things me and my coaches did and my little early group is like we leaned into all the skills so we could do at least one rep. Because if I can do one, I can teach it, you know, and and I think that made a big difference, and I think overall, I think even Andrew Hiller would be mostly happy with how my general population moves, and we do it differently though, bro. Like we don't, it's not like, so I did a seminar with Austin Malelio when we were working with CrossFit, that fucker. And, and bro, if I,
Hey, weren't you in like a car ride? Like
oh,
a
I
car?
drove him. I drove him, bro, and it was like one of the windiest days in Michigan ever. It felt like it was gonna blow my big ass SUV off the road. It was insane, bro. I had to like clench, like I was like having to keep that bitch on the road. And we drove to this really cool box called the Pit, and the owner there they were all great. They do a lot of stuff with teens and kids or whatever. And Austin coached it kind of like they do with the level 1, level 2 certs, which is good. It's a good standard to start there. But I'm going to tell you, for longevity of someone who's owned a box for 17 years, 18 years, someone who's been in the fitness field for 25 years, you got to find a rhythm of giving one. If you've had athletes for a very long time, I think you and I talked about this when I was in Portsmouth. Kevin Desmond does not want the level of attention that my new guys do. Kevin Desmond will tell me to fuck right off, bro. Get out of my ass. I'm just here to fucking move today. And it's about finding that rhythm. And we're very much, as much as I cuss and everything, like we're very hard on a positive coaching model. And like I can get someone to squat deeper by telling the guy next to them that they're doing a good job. Because that motherfucker's like, oh shit, I better squat. I want to do a good job too, motherfucker. Shit, So then they start going lower. And one of there's two things I love a lot. Some of the CrossFit, some of the fitness consulting things out there. The best hour guys, I think they do some things really, really well. Some of these guys. But there are two things that really piss me the fuck off. One, this bullshit, like you should really, to optimize coaching, coach 2 or 3 hours at most in a row. Bitch, that's not a job. That is a fucking hobby. Now, when it's my coaches that are coming from another full-time job, I agree with that wholeheartedly. But as listen, we talk about, I coach all of my classes on Monday, all 9 of them. And I do it because that's when I can connect with the broadest, biggest piece. That's our busiest day of our population. And like as a personal trainer, bro, and this is where I think some of the people that didn't come from a fitness background, some of the owners that didn't come from a fitness background miss it, is our goal was to fill up our fucking schedule. I wanted 8 fucking clients a day. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to work a real fucking job and make money. Like that's the end game. And now listen, one-on-ones very often are more taxing than classes, depending on the skill that day and depending on that, man. Bro, I did it to myself this week and I always try not to. And I have to fight with myself. When I program anything that I'm going to work in the Bergener warm up on Monday and I have to Bergener warm up 9 hours in a row, bro, and I love it, but when I tell you my motherfucking diaphragm is tired, like I am physically actually tired of speaking. That's the fucking job. And then like Thursday through Sunday, I barely do shit. I'm taking on some more one-on-ones because like I trained a really cool athlete that really kind of got me fired up back on some one-on-ones and just made me excited about it again. So I picked up a few. But that's it, man. You work a couple hard days, you connect with your people, and then the rest is like just putting out fires.
9 classes in a day
it's a run, bro. There's a nap involved in the middle of the day. All right. There's a lot of running back.
When's your first one? 5:30?
5:30 a.m. We got a 5:30, 6:30 a.m., an 8, 9 a.m., a noon, a 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30 p.m. That's the run. That's 7:30 p.m., bro. So
7:30, bro.
Yeah, dude. So that 7:30 p.m., I get in there. I'll be in the office. I'll be like, come on, motherfucker. Mike Doan. Mike Doan deserves the same motherfucking energy that Randy got this morning at 5:30.
Yeah.
Get your bitch ass the fuck out there and teach this class. I have a very similar dialogue when I'm deadlifting.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? But dude, that's the job, dog. That's the job. And it's not, listen, comparing it to like an office job would be like you having to run presentations back to back all day.
It's interesting you bring that up about your background working at Bally's and at the Y. And I worked at a local chain in Columbus when I was in college called the Power Shack.
Yeah,
And
man.
went from front desk to being a personal trainer through
Yeah.
college. And it's interesting, and this speaks well to what Greg created is a lot of guys never had to go through that, so they could just follow the journal, take the L1, boom, they're in the
they got to
game.
skip to the end. Yeah, dude.
And it's just like, hey man, like it's worth spend a month at a big at a Globo gym.
It is,
and,
man.
And
There's some value there.
See how fitness really is, and not only fitness, but the business of fitness,
the hustle.
And yeah, those 9 class days you'll be appreciative of for sure once you see the other side.
It's yeah, and it's, dude, I don't know. I have I love and have a crazy interest in the human condition, and like so our whole shtick, New Species, Unleash the Evolution. My very first level 1 cert was Tony Budding, Dave Castro were the leads. Adrian Bozeman was an assist. Allison NYC was the demo. John, the dude that owned Again Faster, I can't remember his last name right now. Yeah. I do that. So that was the crew. Joe DeGane, like that was the crew. And in that version of the L1 lecture, they referenced that essentially you can be a whole different species of human if your gene expression is more than 50% different than someone else's. And you can do that through phenotypes that you can actually control. Genotypes, eye color, whatever, but the phenotypes, that's what gets expressed or not. Mm-hmm. And that just fascinated me, bro. And that's what wakes me up. The days the Mondays where you get the Sunday scaries and shit, and you get that anxiety because you're going to do the same fucking thing again. Dude, watching human evolution happen acutely is so fucking fascinating to me. Like it's crazy to watch that squat depth finally render. Like it's in knowing where your individual athletes are and what they're coming for that day. It's just it's a beautiful thing, man. And Greg, my favorite story with Greg, I tell it every fucking time I get a chance to, and it's one of the reasons that Colin Marsh from the fucking New York Times made me so mad, because this is the story that should have been told. Is I still owe that dude a text because he's mad at me about my Hiller comment, but dude, he had a story he wanted to tell, and he just took the bits and pieces from everybody's interviews and told it, and that's what he was gonna fucking do. He railed me, and I got rope-a-doped in. I was like, oh, he's a CrossFitter. Oh, he's nice. Fucking stupid.
Suck you right in.
Oh, bro, it made me so mad. Anyway, but. So like, yeah, now I got distracted. I don't know what the fuck I was going with that. God, I'm gonna be so mad. Oh, my favorite story about Greg is when we walked in on one of the BSI events, and he had all the brains that had been presenting all day, and he's telling them that the meaning of life is service. Like just skipping to the end, the long and short of it, and it was just the most beautiful. You remember when we walked in and they were all circled up. Bro, it was just that was such a fun, and the rest of the night was fantastic. You and I think we talked to Jeff Martone for 4 fucking hours, like just story after story of his were fire. But dude, that's they thought, so I think when CrossFit pushed Greg out, when the coup and all that bullshit, they're like, you know what, we have enough of his knowledge. All right, we got all that. We got it. We got the EDU department. They're riding too hard on EDU right now. It's fucking annoying. All right, like we got the EDU department. We got his brain. We're good. We don't even really need him. All right. They did not realize they were also ripping out the fucking heart. The affiliates, we are a heart. We're a part of that system, but we're the arms and the legs, bro. We're the hands and the feet. Like Greg was always the heart behind all of it. And that's like, And with MetFix, MetFix has the more like a special populations focus, essentially, in a lot of ways. And dude, we've always been doing that because that's always been a part of it. We've always, dude. I had this one old lady I trained for the longest time, all the way up to COVID. Bro, this chick was 80 plus years old. She'd be pressing something out. This is too heavy. I'm like, Mignon, you can still talk while you're doing it. Keep fucking going. Like, you know what I'm saying? And dude, her name was Mignon, like filet mignon. Like, and dude, I met her at Bally's actually, and she wouldn't train with me because she was afraid of me, and she was also very, very Jewish, a very proud Jewish woman. And so she trained with a Jewish guy at the gym. Well, I got to be friends with him. We were homies, and he was like, just trust me, he's okay. And then, and she trained with me, bro. Man, we trained for years. And but yeah, dude, it's like it's such a gift that we have and it's and honestly, it's on the back end of it, doing it for as long as I have, it's gotten to a point where it almost feels selfish. All right. Because like you can take things like love and use it in a business sense and realize that that's all people really want. And it's like, am I allowed to know this? Because am I using this wrong? Like, like, is this okay? Like, but dude, people need that third place, bro. They need a place that knows their name.
Like
They need
I
cheers, dude.
I think that's so underappreciated, especially if you're an owner and a coach and you're in the game and you're just like focused on the X's and O's. And it's like this is one of the lessons we not only learned but was reinforced during COVID is we like, for example, like programming, right? Like you can nerd out and geek out and try to put together like a whole 12-month, meso micro cycle and all. Like your members don't give a shit.
No, they want it to be fun, dude.
They want it to be fun, and like
Yeah.
you exist as a place where they don't have to worry.
Yep. Yeah.
And
a safe place.
You're in your job, and your place is not only might be, it probably is the only place where they get looked in the eye and told, "Hey, man, that was awesome."
100%, bro.
They don't unfortunately, they don't get it at their job.
Yep.
And depending on their outside relationship, may not be getting it there. Like you might be the only place where they were given any sort of positive feedback.
You know how many of these dudes practically blush when I compliment their haircuts because not even their wives are noticing? You know what I'm saying? Like, you better watch yourself noticing a girl's hair color. You better say that from a distance, bro. Like, because it is those little things. And that actually brings me to my second point that bothers me about a lot of these, like, people trying to tell people how to run affiliates. And I think they do this in the L1 and the L2, if I'm not mistaken also. They shit on cheerleading. Fuck all of you motherfuckers. We're cheerleaders. Fuck that. We're a lot more than that. But a big part of my job is, Kevin, get the fuck back on the bar. Because Desmond will let me say that to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and listen, I'm all about, we have impeccable standards at our gym. For a very long time in the local competition community, we had that reputation. Oh man, we don't even have to worry about new species athletes. We know how they move. There was a very kind box owner down the street. This was way early in the game, and they were mostly like kettlebell. And he's like, oh no, if you really want to go get coached, you go to New Species, because we were one of the only local ones that came from a fitness background. Mm-hmm. And so our guys move well, but bro, it's gotta be fun, man. And you are cheerleading folks. You are cheerleading folks. If you want to call it cheerleading. Listen, my wife, I married a cheerleader. It was one of the best things ever. It's fucking great. It's great having a cheerleader around. Somebody say, good job, babe. I'm like, fuck yeah, girl. Let's get this. You know what I'm like? People need that, bro. They don't get enough of it. People don't notice their haircuts enough. They don't give them enough positive feedback.
It's okay to be a hype man.
Fuck yes, it is. That's a big part of our fucking job. That is a part of the job.
It's okay to be a hype man, for sure. For sure.
Absolutely. It can't be all you do. I mean, you need to talk. Right. I mean, you need to coach them. Their movement patterns need to be getting better and better. One of the most clutch things that I took from any CrossFit cert, and I got a bunch of them under my belt. I don't have my level 2 yet, man. They're still real mad about that. I'm doing it out of spite at this point. You know, I went and got my MetFix cert first. Like the one or two, the one or not, they're gonna hear me now. They're gonna fucking de-affiliate me. God damn it. I passed it over. So my wife has hers, so I kicked it over to her. But like, I went and got my MetFix cert because like that crew is what's important to me at this point. You know, is if I'm prioritizing because I don't get away very often. You know, and when I do,
That's true.
like,
I know you.
you know, like when I do, there's consequences. Toilets get clogged up. You know, like, I don't like leaving. Entrepreneurs don't do that shit. And and so I'm like, you know what? I'm spending that money on MetFix, motherfuckers. Let's go. But dude, I have like more actual a number of CrossFit certs than maybe anybody in Michigan. I got CrossFit football, CrossFit nutrition, CrossFit mobility, and that's a CrossFit weightlifting. And I took it with all the OGs. You know what I'm saying? So now it's hard for me to listen to these young kids tell me shit. I'm an asshole. I'm like an old man now. I'm like, who are you to tell me anything? I've been doing this. When I hit that 25-year mark, I was like, all right, the list of motherfuckers that can tell me shit just got a lot shorter. Okay. They're there. You need them because I'm not I'm not an arrogant asshole, but it just I started to recognize my worth a little more, you know?
Dude, you know, it is so funny. We're the old dudes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
We the onks now, bro. In the hood, we onks.
We're the old dudes, but in my mind, it's just like I just took my L1 2 weeks ago.
Bro, I stopped at 27.
That's how that's how it feels. But you're right. Like, you know, me and some of my my military buddies were like, dude, we're the Vietnam guys now.
Dude, you know, I kind of love it. Dude, my 30s to 40s like were brutal physically. You know the how bald eagles like midlife have to break off their beak, pull out all their feathers, and pull out their claws. You know, and then they have to regrow. Bro, that was like 30 to 40, homie. Like I got new metal hips, knee surgeries, broke a foot, like kids. Like, bro, it was tough. And this dude, my hips were so bad before I got them done that if I would have stopped moving, they would have frozen immediately. So essentially every day on like the osteoblast level, I was breaking these fuckers apart. It was awful, dude. My metal hips are awesome. I'd replace every joint if I could. I never got to talk about my metal hips when we worked with CrossFit because we had fucking Kevin Ogar. What the fuck am I going to say? I mentioned him one time, and you see this motherfucker lean forward and hit his space bar. He's like, really, Josh? Really? You want to tell me about your hips? I'm like, no, Kevin, and I haven't said anything until now for this fucking reason.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, man, like Kevin Ogar is a G.
Oh, I love him so much, dude. He's one of my favorite fucking humans on this planet, dude.
And
he's gangster.
And so the other kind of through line that Josh and I have, we were the original CrossFit affiliate reps from like 20
District 8, man. They had us chopped up like the Hunger Games, son.
Man, and that was a crazy time, dude. That was such a fun time.
It was so fun. It was cool. It was just Wild West, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody knew up from down. We got paid for months without doing anything.
Oh, bro.
I got on one call when it started getting more and more corporate. And you remember the one where I was like, hey guys, how dope is it that like we don't need this shit and we can just like quit at any point because we have our gyms at home to go to and like corporate people can't tell us shit.
So we're coming up on an hour, dude, and I can talk to you forever.
Man, I know we could go forever.
One of my favorite stories is how so Josh and I, we quickly became friends being a rep, and we both joked because we started working for CrossFit after Greg sold. And
we just missed it, bro.
just missed it. And then so independently, this is like independently, Emily and Greg contacted each of us because we were friends with both of them prior to the sell.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh and I are working for we're CrossFit employees or contractors, whatever legally, but we're working for CrossFit. We're affiliate reps. Yep. And Emily and Greg get a hold of me, and they're like, "Hey, Greg's gonna be up in Columbus. You want to come hang out?" And I'm like, so this is like November 21 or November 20, like 20. I can't remember. Anyways, this is the first time like Greg was going out in public after this. So it's kind of a big deal. They weren't like publicizing or anything, but shout out to my buddy Mark, CrossFit Future.
Yeah, 10-year anniversary.
He was having his 10-year anniversary, and he 2 years prior invited Greg, and of course Greg remembered.
Of course.
So they get a hold of me, and they're like, "Hey, he's coming up to Columbus. If you want to come hang out." So I'm like, in. And then I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Is this allowed?"
Right.
There was a weird time where it was Rose and Greg.
We were still CrossFit Ho.
We were like
when we were home office. CrossFit home office.
Yeah, there was a home office. We were not
CrossFit Ho.
We were a home office. And
gotta mind your acronyms.
I'm like,
folks.
I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna go. And I'm like, oh, I think this could get me fired. I don't know if this is gonna get me fired or not. And
worth it.
And then so I travel up there, and then who do I see? And it's none other than Josh Hunnicutt.
Yeah, dude.
And so I'll let you tell your side of the story.
Yeah, dude. So it's the same type gig. Like Greg's camp reached out, and they're like, "Hey, Greg's flying down to Ohio, and he's doing a 10-year anniversary thing. Do you want to come through?" Because like right before he sold, Greg was doing Zoom calls, and it was one of the coolest moments ever. Like at one point, some of these Zoom calls were like, "Well, what do you do about toilet paper?" And he was like, "Oh, fuck," because he had a bunch of good ones. That were like, he's meeting the Dales, and he's meeting, guys like me that he enjoys, chopping it up with, and these real these hardcore, like, "Hey man, we staying open." And then so he got bogged down in that for a minute. So then he created like a rogues gallery of the ones that actually enriched him and charged him back up. And it was like 12 of us, but all over the fucking world, dude. Irish dudes, South American dudes, and I made it. I'm like, oh shit. And man, I always talk about my fucking daddy issues, so I was ready to go. And so that's where the initial connect was made. So then he gave me, and when they knew I was out here. So when he was coming out, they invited me to join them, and I was like, just like you, yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, if they gonna fight, and we said it when we were down. We were both down there, like, we're not taking any pictures, right? Like, we're not sharing any anyway, And like, okay, if you take a picture, I'll take a picture, but we got to both have the picture. Like, this is the first time me and Dale had met in person, also, and. So I was like, if they're going to fire me, if they're going to let me go for hanging out with the guy that created what they're trying to peddle at this point, then they can go ahead and let me go. Because that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. It can do nothing but make me better at the thing they're trying to sell. So like I didn't even have to think about it. But dude, I was so nervous, bro. So this is the question I asked. So I'm in a private setting with Greg, and I'm like, and I was like, so where did you come up with CrossFit? So what I meant was the actual name CrossFit, the actual like word CrossFit. Like, how did it fold into that? Like, that's what I was going for, especially with everything going on and trying to take the conversation. Like, how are the OG days? Who helped you with the name? But it was I got the journal answer because I asked the journal question, why CrossFit? And he was like, well, because I saw motherfuckers doing lateral raises. I'm like, no. I've watched this lecture 100 times. God damn it. I was like, what, bub? Yeah, I'll open that.
Big man. Yeah. So
big man. And but it ended on this with Greg. I said, Greg, listen, I was like, they always tell you to not meet your heroes, but because you'll be disappointed. And as I was like, I have to say, Greg, I am beyond not disappointed. I'm like, I cannot, you were everything I thought you would be, whatever. He was like, yeah, I'm pretty one-dimensional. that's the least one-dimensional human being I've ever met in my life. But he is him. He's authentic, man. He is the real. He is the realest one in the game.
Yeah, so it was good. Like it was so funny. And we meet each other in person, and we
Like
both said, "Dude, why
it was
didn't
like
you
that
tell me?"
Spider-Man moment.
Yeah, I was like, "Why did?" I was like, "Because like, oh, dude, I was keeping it a secret. I thought we were going to get fired."
Same, dude. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell Danielle. I didn't tell any of them. Any of them. I didn't
Yeah.
like. I was like, I didn't know what was going on, but I sure as hell was not saying no. That was a once, dude. And this is the heaviest part about that, bro. Ezra was like 3 weeks old. Okay, it's Marcella's first baby. All right, like I had a 14-year-old from a previous relationship, but like it's been 10 years since I've done anything, and we're having a hard time. I mean, it was rough. Kid didn't sleep, all this and that. So I'm like, babe, listen, I know this is the absolute worst timing that there could ever be. But if I miss this opportunity to meet Greg Glassman, I don't know that I can go on living with myself. Like I cannot miss this. Like I have to do this, babe. And she was very supportive. There was a couple of FaceTimes with a lot of tears and there were some moments, but dude, she was like, you have to go because you'll probably resent me forever if you don't. Like, and so she was very supportive. But it was like it was not, the timing could not have been worse, but there was not a chance in. I'm like, yep, I'll be there.
Yep. So yeah, she's a good woman, man. But yeah, that was definitely a highlight memory. And glad we did that, man. And it's good to see you, brother. I'm so happy you're a MetFix affiliate. I'm so happy you're along for the ride, man. We
Dude, and that's the thing. Like, so
with
with my last point on MetFix and all of it's going to be this, dude. I am so honored and so proud, especially to be one of the first 100, like the MetFix thing. And like MetFix, there's different entities trying to set up all these versus matches, and like. And bro, and it's like, come on, CrossFit. You didn't have to say quick fix. It didn't even sound good. Shortcut sounds better. Shortcut even motherfucking sounds better. But whatever, it's okay. Their marketing's pretty tight right now because they went all the way back to how they used to do it. It's cool, whatever. Anyway, my point is, like, it's all the same. We're all, like I said, we're all, as long as we're going the same direction, bro. MetFix is an honorable add-on. MetFix it's what Greg said on the Savant's podcast. It's like the master's program. I'm not going to shit on my undergrad,
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Yeah, it makes no sense.
And Glassman's methodology, listen, we're not reinventing the fitness aspect of it. Glassman's methodology is the best there is. There's no way around that. You could call it CrossFit, his methodology, whatever. It's it. And like that's the best way to improve metabolic health. That's the best way to do it, and at the mitochondrial level. And so like those that are like trying to ride the versus train, or is this replacing that or whatever, right now for me, I'm saying no right now. Like
no.
it's
look,
and
here's the deal. Like
I hate the versus.
You and I are both CrossFit affiliates. You and I are both MetFix affiliates.
Yeah.
I think there is some confusing narratives out there, right? And so the thing is, we're not here to replace CrossFit. We're here to add on to it.
That's man.
For those who want it, like, and we offer like the two main things we're focused on as far as affiliation level is concerned, or actually as far as the education level is concerned. Obviously, it's the whole metabolic health aspect, and there's a whole specialty populations aspect of it. Like we're here to build upon the foundation of CrossFit gyms, from a education and from a community service standpoint. So,
and that's what's beautiful, bro. Because you see some of these other boxes. One of the things we never did as a box owner is niche. So we have a very broad, very open community. But you'll see, like there's this one guy in town, that's known for his postpartum and all this and that. Now we have a ticket on that. Now that's an amenity we offer. Like we have specialized training in these special populations, and at a high level. And that's a huge add-on, whether it just brings people in or what.
And the thing is, it takes a while for you to be able to do that. I mean? Like you need to spend some time, go get your level 1. You need to spend some time in the trenches, get your level 2, like figure out how to like coach, a relatively general population. And then from there, then you can do the specialty stuff on top.
Absolutely.
Of it. For you to like, and this is, we do a consulting gig for folks who want to do fitness and recovery. And it's just like, dude,
That's
hey,
great, man.
unless you spent some time with what we're going to call like normal standard clients, it's going to be a tough gig for you to go right into this cohort from the get-go. And so one of our main goals on the education side is just collect, like, this is what Greg's done his whole life. He gets around very smart people who are the leaders in their fields and their industries, gets them to share lessons. And that's what we're doing on the specialty population side. So, man, I love you. I love you, little man. Bro. It's good to see you, buddy.
Say hi, Dale. Say hi, Uncle Dale. Thanks for the Ohio shoes.
That's anytime. Say go Bucks, and then we can. I'll send you $50.
He said go Bucks. He said it. He goes go Bucks.
We're leaving.
We're gonna end on that. We're gonna end on that.
Love you, brother. Tell your wife.
Anything y'all need, yes, sir. I will.
And everybody, good talking to you. We'll be back next week. Peace.
Anytime. Yes, sir.